You're listening to the Extraordinary Everyday Podcast, episode number 10.
Welcome to the Extraordinary Everyday Podcast, where women come to be inspired and motivated to become the best version of themselves and elevate the quality of their everyday. Now, here's your host, certified life coach, Wendy Johnson.
Hi, beautiful friends. How are you? I am doing amazing, and I'm excited to be here for this 10th episode. And I can't think of a better way than to celebrate this perfect 10 with talking about creating your perfect day. What is the perfect day? In Seneca, he was a philosopher more than 1,000 years ago. He said, not how long, but how well you have lived is the main thing. So imagine with me, if you could create your perfect day, where do you live? Who are you with? What do you see and smell? What do you eat? What do you do? Where do you go? How do you spend your 24 hours? I was introduced to the perfect day exercise back in the early 2000s. Up until that point, I was living perfect days, but not all my days were perfect. Not all my ideal days. I had very stressful days. I had days where I reacted to what was going on with other people or events going on in my life. And I was living life in overdrive. I overscheduled my calendar with activities from morning until night. And I over-volunteered for my church and my child's schools. And I was doing everything hard and obsessive. I had difficult long runs. I lifted weights hard. I did yoga aggressively and hard. I dieted hard. And I pictured myself living this Martha Stewart life where everything was perfect. And I watched her program. I subscribed to her magazine, and I cooked everything from scratch. And I didn't have that much time. I didn't have all that time because of how many activities I had on my calendar. There were days when I was over decorating the house for the holidays, and I was making toffee for all my coworkers. And in order to do that, I had to do it when I should have been sleeping. And the next day I would be sleep deprived. I would get stressed easily. That was just one of the many things that I did. I would describe myself as a type A perfectionist who was trying to live a Martha Stewart life. And when I was depleted and exhausted, I reacted to life. I got upset and angry easily. I didn't talk to myself very nicely, and I pushed myself too hard. I thought I was proving myself to others for how much I could accomplish in a day and proving to myself that I was worthy. I didn't know until I worked with my first coach that we are designers of our life and we don't live life in default, and we show up for ourselves with compassion and kindness, and we take care of our well-being. Our mental and emotional life comes first before all the other activities that we want to put into our day. So this exercise had a profound impact on my life. And over the past decade, I've refined and continued to map out and live into my perfect day. And your perfect day is a day where you're doing things that energize you and surrounded by things that bring you joy. And you're hanging out with people you love, engaging in work that excites you, and living in a home that comforts you and allows you to be the you who you want to be. And when you focus on living each day more aligned with who you are, with who you want to be, you will cultivate a well-lived life. And a well-lived life means that it's a life with happiness and achievement and development. It doesn't mean that it's an easy life. It doesn't mean that you are given things and taking things. It means that you are growing and achieving your own goals. And you're living life on your standards and nobody else. According to the psychologists at the University of Zurich in Switzerland, they derived fulfillment from many things, but the top three were the unfolded self in life, the worthwhile life, and a positive impact and legacy. What the unfolded self and life refer to is one which you can pursue projects that personally matter, be their unique self, and lead a true life. And the worthwhile life relates to the perception that one can invest one's own capacities well and live a meaningful life, one of giving back and one of giving love to yourself and love to others. And number three was positive impact and legacy. And that refers to making a positive difference, leaving something of value and doing something with your life that matters to others. So how do you get clear on your perfect day? If you've been living far away from your perfect day and you're waiting for one day when, your brain is going to want to offer thoughts such as, that's not possible right now. I don't have the time. I can't do that yet. And who are you kidding? I have too many responsibilities. So you have to set aside this brain chatter that may come up and begin to live into your perfect day by asking yourself this one main question. What would your ordinary, average, perfect day look like if there were no limitations and you could create anything your heart desired? Allow yourself to dream and consider the people you'd love to hang out with, the activities you'd love to do, the environment that would allow your best self to emerge. And how would you take care of yourself? This perfect day would be a dream day for you. When I was getting a coaching certification, what I wrote felt impossible. I was really dreaming big and bold. And I was starting all over with a clean slate. And I was open to receiving and living into possibilities. The perfect day exercise allowed me to make little and big tweaks to my days. And eventually I was living into my perfect day by day. And it probably took 2 to 3 years to get to that perfect day for some of the things that I wanted. But I am ready now to do some more tweaks. And that's why I want to talk to you about it, because I'm going to be doing this exercise right along with you. So what I want to talk to you now about is how to create your perfect day. And when you go to create your perfect day, take paper and write it in detail from the time you wake up in the morning to the time you go to bed. And when you can't see all of the details, it's okay. Just write down what you can see, feel, hear, and taste. And I promise you, as you read this perfect day exercise that you wrote, you will tweak it along the way and think of new things. And then you may want to take some things out. But there are 3 things that I want you to focus on. The 3 W's. Where are you? Where are you living? Are you living near the beach? Are you living in a big city like New York? Are you living in a chateau in France? Are you living in a mountain town? So where are you living? And who is the next one? Who do you live with? Who do you wake up with? Who do you work with? Who do you hang out with? Who do you see? This will most likely include your current people and the new people that you'd like to see in your life, in your future life, in your future perfect day. And think about the types of people you hang out with. What do they do? And most importantly, who are you being? And the third W, what are you doing? What is your vocation? What are you doing for work? What do you wear on an average day? How do you spend your free time on an average day? What do you do for fun? How do you take care of yourself on a daily basis? And what do you eat? What do you do for exercise? Now that you've written out your perfect day, you will begin to align with it. And this will demand a new version of yourself. And you're going to have to see yourself differently. So now the goal is to live into, how is this woman thinking? How is she feeling? And what is she doing on an average day? Who is she? How is she different from the you today? And I spend a month in my More You membership, and we dive deeper into specific reflection questions. While I've encouraged you to dream about your perfect day, it's time to decide what's most important to you. What parts are essential for you to experience and fulfill now? What are you going to start doing today or tomorrow? What parts are essential for you to experience and fulfill now? What parts do you deeply desire, but they're not essential now? And what are lavish dreams that you could do without? And maybe that's where you're living in another country or right on the ocean. Maybe you live near the ocean. So now let's align with your perfect day. What parts do you already have? What are you already doing? And then what parts are you missing? And most importantly, what are you going to stop doing now that is not something you want to do? You want to delegate it or delete it. So what tweaks can you make to bring into your perfect day? And consider one action you can take to bring into your perfect day. And do this daily. Every day, bring one thing in that you want to bring in, and maybe take one thing out that you want to slowly remove if it's not something you can do instantly, but you're working on it. And brainstorm ideas. Come up with as many ideas as you can so that you can start living into your perfect day, making your ordinary day extraordinary. If you love listening to this podcast, please go over to Apple, iTunes, and leave a review. I would love it. Hope you all have a beautiful week, and I'll be back next week. Take care. Hey, if you enjoy listening to this podcast, you have to come check out More You, my community of like-minded women. We show up to create the highest version of ourselves and elevate the quality of our everyday along the way. Head over to ontraclifecoaching.com/join. That's ontraclifecoaching.com/join. I'd love to see you in there. And if you haven't grabbed your copy of the Mindset Makeover, head over to ontraclifecoaching.com/makeover and get a copy that teaches and inspires you to show up as your most extraordinary self.